Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Recently, I've done two videos about the Arch Linux automated installer being broken, or at least it wasn't working for me. Well, it was fixed on Saturday, and I didn't realize it until today. So, I'm going to do a quick base installation using the Arch automated installer. So, let's get to it. So I'm at the Arch Linux archive website where they have the Arch install. And you can see that their installer, they came out with one on April 16th. And it was working, for me anyways. And then they came out with the next one was July 30th, which was on the August 1st ISO, which didn't work for me. And that was the same one, the July 30th was the same one that was on the September 1st ISO. And again, it wasn't working for me. And I did two videos about it. So on September 23rd, which was this past Saturday, they came out with an ISO, and I didn't realize it until this morning. And I tried it and it worked. Now, if we go to the Arch Linux website and type in Arch install, you can see right here, they released a new version of it on July 23rd, which was this past Saturday. So I'm going to go and do a quick base install, and let's see if it works again. Now, I did it off camera this morning and it worked for me, and now I'm going to try it a second time. I fired up a virtual machine with the September 1st ISO. And of course, the first thing I'm going to do is make the font larger. So I'm going to type in set font tier -132 bold. And there we go. I'm going to clear the screen. And now the new installer is not on the September 1st ISO, obviously. And in all likelihood, I would say 99% or 98%. I can't say for sure because I don't know the Arch developers. I have nothing to do with them. But I presume, in all likelihood, the new installer will be on the October 1st ISO that's coming out in a few days. So the October 1st ISO should be out on Sunday, this coming Sunday. And in all likelihood, the new installer will be on there. But I couldn't wait. I thought I got to do a video. So like I said, I'm in the live version of the September 1st ISO. Now, what we could do is, let's type in pacman q arch install. We can see at the very bottom line here, we are on Arch install 260-1. The installer that came out on July 30th, which is the one that stopped working for me, and the one that I claim was broken, it is 260-1. And the one that came out today, it's 261-1, not 0-1, 1-1. So that's the one we want to get. So let's go back to my virtual machine. And what we're going to do is, now if you are willing to wait till Sunday or Monday, sometimes on the first of the month when they release their ISO, once or twice a year, they're a day or two late. I don't know if they're going to be late this time, but usually they release their new ISO on the first of the month, which is Sunday. So if you're willing to wait until Sunday or next week and use the October 1st ISO, you won't have to go through this step because the new installer in all likelihood will be on it. But if you're in a hurry and you want to use the September ISO, then you can do this. We are going to type in pacman install. Whoops, sorry. We are going to type in pacman sy arch install. Let's hit enter and see if it works. And you can tell right here, it's installing 2.61-1, not 0-1. So let's hit enter. And we just installed the new installer. Now let's just make sure we have it. Let's do pacman -q arch install. So now we can see we have 2.6.1-1, not 0-1. And actually, if we do this one, let's just put an I there. We can see that at the top of the screen, you can see it's 2.6.1-1, and it was released on, I can't use my mouse, that's why I'm pointing my hand. You can see it near the bottom here. It was released on Saturday, September 23rd. Okay, so it's like 5 lines from the bottom. The Saturday, September 23rd is when the installer was released. So now we just downloaded the most current, the brand new Arch installer onto this ISO. And now we can go and do our installation. Now, like I said, if you're willing to wait until the October 1st ISO is released and you download that ISO, you won't have to go through this step, because the brand new installer, in all likelihood, will be on it, on the ISO that comes out in October. So like I said, if you're willing to wait, you won't have to go through this step. Anyways, I repeated myself too much already, so let's get on with the installation. So I'm going to clear the screen. Let's clear the screen. Let's type in Arch install. And I'm doing that again. There we go. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the mirrors. I'm going to go to mirror region. I'm going to use you can use your arrow keys or the J and the K key. K goes up, J goes down, or you can use your up and down arrows. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to hit my space bar and put an asterisk there and hit enter. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to locales. And this is another thing that was broken. And I never mentioned this when I did the 2 videos about how the Arch installer was broken. I never talked about this part. I didn't mention it. But I'm going to mention it now. This was not working in the July 30th installer. Not for me anyways. So we go to locales. You go down to this one. When you hit enter, it should bring up a list of all the different locations. Whenever I tried it and I went into here, it just brought up a blank page. So I'm going to hit enter. Now see all these options? Well, whenever I was using the July 30th installer, and I go here, these options wouldn't be there. It would just be a blank page. Anyways, I'm going to go from English US to English Canada. And I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to go to disk configuration. I'm going to use best effort. And I'm going to use my space bar to put an asterisk there. And I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to go to ext4 because that's the one I like and that's the one I always use. Now I'm going to choose disk encryption. So I'm going to hit enter. Encryption password. I'm going to put a super simple password in. It's very weak because it's just for the video. I'm going to put it in again. And I'm going to go down to partition. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to use my space bar to put an asterisk here. And I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to go back. Oops. I'm going to leave bootloader on grub. Swap I'm going to take out because I don't like it. So I'm going to say no, I don't want swap. Host name, you can leave it the way it is. I'm going to change it. And of course, after the fact, it's very easy to change anytime you want to change it. I'm going to call this installer fixed. That's going to be the host name. I'm going to hit enter. Root password is very simple. Root password is very simple. Whenever I do Arch installation, regardless of whether I'm installing it the manual way by typing in all the commands or use the automated Arch installer, I don't put a user account in, and I don't put any I don't put apps in. I do that after the fact. So I'm going to leave it blank. User account is blank. Profile is blank. Audio is blank because I always do that after the fact. Kernel, I'm going to change to LTS. So I'm going to use my space bar and take out the asterisk. I'm going to use my arrow keys to go down and put the asterisk in by Linux LTS, the long-term support kernel, and hit enter. Additional packages. Now, like I said, at this stage, I don't put packages in. I always do it after my installation is done, my base installation. But at this stage, I do like to put in vim, git, and terminus font. And hit enter, and it's verifying that those packages are valid. And network manager. So you want to do network manager, because if you don't, and if you forget to do this, when you log into your system, you won't have any internet access. So I always go with use network manager. I like network manager, and that's the one I always use. Time zone, it's automatic at UTC. I'm going to change it to Canada Eastern. So now I have Eastern in there. And I'm done. So now I'm going to hit install. I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to go through this installation. So I'm going to be back real soon, so don't go away. Wow, that was really fast. I never even got out of my chair while the installation was going on. I think it took 2.5 to 3 minutes, if that. So if you make it to this screen, you know it's working. The Arch installer is fixed. So now it's asking, would you like to root into the newly created installation and perform post changes? Yes is the default, but I always say no. So I'm going to go to no, and I'm going to hit enter. And here it is. Installation completed without any errors. You may now reboot. So let's reboot. Finally, I am so impressed. This installation was fast. Here we are, getting into the system. Let's make it full screen. And apologize for the small font. It's asking me for my encryption password. So I'm going to put in my super secret encryption password. And it is decrypting the drive. And there we are. So I don't have a user yet, so I'm going to log in as root. And I'm going to put root's password in. And there we are. Oh, you know what? Let's make it bigger. So I'm going to change the font now. Set font here -132B. There we are. There we are. We're logged into my brand new installation. The Arch installer is fixed. And you know what? I'm going to go through with a post installation. I wasn't going to, but now I've changed my mind. So what I'm going to do is make a user. User add -m mensch. Password without the O and without the R. Mensch. I'm going to give mensch the super secret password. I'm going to repeat it. And now I'm going to go into vim. I'm going to go into vim, etc, sudoers file. I'm going to go down. I wasn't planning on doing this post installation, but hey, what the heck. Here, and I'm going to hit YY to copy that, hit a paste, and I'm going to delete this root and type in mensch. I'm giving mensch sudo privileges. This is not the way most people do it. Whoops. It's not the way most people do it, or most distributions do it, but I like to do it this way. So now mensch has sudo privileges, and now I'm going to log out. And I'm going to log in as mensch. Let's see if we can get in. Now we're in as mensch. Now I'm going to do make a directory called .config. Make dir .config. Now I'm going to download my GitLab repository. I'm going to type in git clone https://gitlab.com/artibus1/mensch.git. And I'm cloning Git. Or sorry, and I just cloned my. Now, before I even do that, I want to do this. I'm going to do sudo etc pacman.conf. And did I do that right? Oh, I forgot vim. And put my password in. Let's go down. And I'm going to uncomment verbose package list and uncomment parallel downloads equals 5. And I'm going to save the file. I'm going to let's clear the screen. I'm going to cd into my Mensch folder that I just downloaded from my GitLab repository, ls it. I'm going to cd into the arch folder that's the first one, cd arch. And I'm going to ls it. Let's vim into AutoApp. So this is my AutoApp. These are all the files I'm going to automatically download. I have desktop environments. It has the Cinnamon desktop, the Qtile window manager, the awesome window manager, video players, music players, all the files that you need to run your videos and your music, all kinds of stuff in here that's going to help run the system. So what I'm going to do is just click get out of there. I'm going to type in /auto. Just like that. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit enter. And it's downloading them. So now I'm going to pause the video while it's downloading all the programs, and I'll be back. So don't go away. Okay, so it finished downloading all the files and apps that I use. It only took a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes. I'm going to clear the screen. And now I'm going to vim into run config file that I have. And this is what's in my run config file. I'm just showing you what's in it. It's going to move some files where I need them to be. It's going to put some configuration files where I need them to be. And it's going to set up my firewall. At the bottom here, you can see. It's going to set up my firewall rules and so forth. So I'm going to close this file. And let's just ls8. And it's called the run config file. It's over in that corner at the top. It's the second one from the top under resub. Run configs. So I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to hit --run. And it's just going to take a second. That's done. Now I'm going to type in Zesh, and let's see if my Zesh file is working. And it is. And let's su into root. Let's see if Zesh is working for root. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Zesh my default shell, because bash is the default shell right now, and I want to make Zesh the default shell. So I'm going to cd out of there, and I'm going to vim etc password without the O and without the R. Now you have to be careful when you're in this file, because if you accidentally mess something up in this file, you won't be able to log into your system, and it can be fixed, but you're going to have to do a rescue. So I'm going to, on the very first line for root, I'm taking out bash at the end of the line, and I'm typing in Zesh. Then I'm going to do a search for Mensch. And on the line number 20, where Mensch is, I'm going to go to the end of the line. I'm going to delete bash, and I'm going to type in Zesh, and I'm going to save the file. And now I'm going to log out. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reboot. Let's reboot. We're just rebooting into the new system again. Now that we've made all the changes, and we're at the encryption screen. So I'm going to type in my encryption password, my super secret encryption password. And if everything worked, it should take me to my login manager, or as it's properly called, the display manager. So it's decrypting the drive. And here we are. We're at Light DM, the login manager, or as it's properly called, the display manager. So if we click on this little hamburger menu up here, you can see I installed the Cinnamon desktop, which is not configured. I don't have a configuration file for the Cinnamon desktop. And when you install the Cinnamon desktop in Arch Linux, it's but ugly. So you're going to have to configure it yourself. But the Cinnamon desktop is user-friendly, and it's easy to configure and make it look nice. And I have Qtile. And the Qtile is configured with my configuration file now. And I also have Awesome. And Awesome is also configured with my configuration file. So let's go into Awesome first. Oh, and so in this video, I'm not going to go into Cinnamon because it's really ugly and you have to configure it. And like I said, it's easy to configure. And I've done lots of videos on how I like to configure and change the Cinnamon desktop. And you're free to go and watch those on my channel. But let's go to Awesome. Let's type in my super secret password. And now we're in the Awesome window manager with my configuration file. Let's open up a terminal. Let's just make that a little larger. Oops. Maybe that's too large, eh? And Zesh is my default shell. And one more thing I want to do, and that's, let's go to Vim. Let's see if, oh, and that's working. Beautiful. And let's type in Vim, make a new file. I want to make sure that tilde is not there. Let's do Vim test text. And that's working. All my configurations are working. So let's go out of there. Let's quit. Let's go into Qtile. Let's type it in. And now we're in the Qtile window manager with my configuration file. So in this install, I have Rhythmbox for my music player, Celluloid for videos, MPV for videos. I have all the codecs that enable you to watch videos and listen to music. I have Firefox installed. I have Clip Grab installed, which is a app that allows you to grab videos from the internet and download them into your hard drive. I have everything one would need. So that's Arch Linux. So the Arch Linux installer is fixed. And I wasn't planning on doing a post installation because I've done many videos on how I like to configure my Arch Linux system, but I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. So, like I said before, I just want to repeat myself. If you're going to use the October 1st ISO, you won't have to install or download the Arch installer onto it. It should already be there in all likelihood. And if you are in a hurry and you can't wait and you want to use the September ISO, I showed you how to install or how to download the new Arch Auto Installer. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something today. And if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I am the Linux Mensch. Bye-bye.